You blinked and he's back. Just when everyone thought Jude Bellingham wouldn't return to the pitch until October, the Real Madrid star surprised everyone, and could be back much sooner than expected. The Englishman's rapid recovery is generating buzz in Valdebebas, and inside sources are already pointing to a possible set date for his big comeback. Now let's watch the exclusive information from ESPN UK first.
Then, because Xabi Alonso has been talking about how Jude Bellingham's return is closer. He says, I want to be a bit optimistic and hope that Jude can be back before October. He started to do some things with the group without contact because we still have to protect the shoulder. But Jude has made a great effort in his recovery. Alex, this is the latest we're hearing on Jude Bellingham then.
Yeah, he's a little bit ahead of schedule because when he had this shoulder surgery back in July, I think we reported he was going to be out between 10 and 12 weeks, and we were looking at early October as being the most likely return date. And the fact that he's been back in training this week, not proper training, as Xabi Alonso says, they're not full training, but taking some part in some exercises with his teammates while being protected. It's not full contact yet, but Xabi Alonso said, look, next week he should be closer to playing a full part in training. It's much too soon. It's not going to be in the game against Real Sociedad on Saturday. It probably won't be next week either in terms of playing in games, but there's some big games coming up. Don't forget, you've got the Madrid derby with Atletico at the end of the month on the 27th of September, I think, and I'm sure that game is kind of circled in red in Jude Bellingham's diary or his calendar as being one to watch. So like I say, he's not there yet, but he's definitely a little bit ahead of schedule.
How much do they need him back, Ali?
I think if we can agree that Jude Bellingham is one of the best players in the world, then you'd rather have him on the field. And there is an aspect to Jude Bellingham's game that Real Madrid can always utilize, and that is when he is at his competitive best. Not only does he give you a presence in the attack and later arriving runs into the box and potentially big important goals, but he also gives his team more personality through the midfield. And the midfield right now at Real Madrid is an area that I think it's troublesome for Xabi Alonso, and he hasn't quite figured out what his best rotation is or what his best group of players is. That area of the field remains something that Xabi Alonso wants to figure out, and part of that answer has to be Jude Bellingham. Because not only can he run with the ball and glide with the ball out of the midfield, he can pass the ball out of the midfield. Just as important, he can defend in the midfield. He will give you a sliding challenge here and there. He will win a 50-50 ball. He is a presence in the air and will win a header as well. So Real Madrid needs all of those things. And I think Xabi Alonso can use all of those things. So of course, the presence of Jude Bellingham makes this team substantially better.
Yeah, there's been talk about Jude Bellingham on yesterday's show, actually, when it comes to the England camp and negativity surrounding him and his presence in the camp. Obviously, it's speculation and reports at this stage, Alex, but has there been any talk of that in the Real Madrid camp at all?
Not really, no. His image here, his reputation here is still pretty spotless after the impact he's had in his first 2 seasons here at Real Madrid. And some of that, as you say, speculation about how he's viewed within the England team, that hasn't translated here, certainly. I think the big question right now, as Ali alludes to there, is exactly where he's going to fit back into the Real Madrid team. Then there are 2 clear options as far as that's concerned. It's either in the midfield 3 or the front 3. If it's the midfield 3, I'm not convinced, because that means that one of Tchouaméni or Valverde or Ardegula have to drop out. I don't think Xabi Alonso really wants to drop any of those 3 out of the team. If it's the front 3, he's probably coming in the role that Franco Mastantuono has been playing most recently on the right-hand side, which isn't Jude Bellingham's natural position either, and maybe involves a bit of a reshape in terms of the shape of the team. So there's not an ideal and obvious solution there either. But like I say, that's the one issue is where he fits back in. But does he come back into this team? Yeah, of course he does.
Isn't it incredible how one player playing for 2 different teams can have such a completely polar opposite effect, if we're to believe all the things that we read when he's with England? We're talking about, do Real Madrid need him on the field? Well, it seems to me at Real Madrid, if you're standing on the field and you do this and he's standing there, your mentality is, we're all right today. Whereas the England lot, it seems like they do that and it's, when's he going to start complaining? Which affects the team. It affects people on the ball who are not quite as confident in themselves, who are scared to make a mistake because somebody is going to get in their ear during the game. I mean, how incredible is that? How can a guy be so important for 2 completely different reasons? Amazing.
Yes, it absolutely is. Alex, thank you so much for being with us. We know you've got a busy weekend.
What seemed like a return only scheduled for October could now happen much earlier. Real Madrid star Jude Bellingham is surprising everyone with his impressive recovery after shoulder surgery. When the injury was announced in July, predictions indicated the young Englishman would be out for 10 to 12 weeks, with his return expected only in early October. But now, the latest information from Valdebebas indicates that Bellingham is well ahead of schedule. In a conversation with Xabi Alonso, the Real Madrid coach revealed that Jude has already started training with the group, although without physical contact yet, to avoid straining his shoulder. "I'm optimistic and hope Jude can return before October," said Alonso, visibly excited about the player's progress. Although his return for upcoming matches has not yet been confirmed, internal expectations are that the English midfielder will be integrated into full training as early as next week. The big question now is whether he'll be ready in time to face Atletico Madrid on September 27, the most anticipated derby of the month. This seems to be Bellingham's main objective, as is making every effort to secure a spot in this crucial match.